Hi everyone, welcome to UTV Guna and our show, The Shooting Lone Star with Ram from the Austin Gooners. Hey bro, how are you?
Amit, how are you doing, man? Doing great over here. Big week for all of my football teams. Austin FC is up there competing with some of the other top teams in the league. MLS is the USA soccer league, and then obviously, of course, uh, Arsenal, man, big, big win, amazing start to the season. I'm ready for the next one. It's been a great start. A lot of our, a lot of favorable results on like the other games going on too. So it's been a great week. I can't wait till Saturday, man. Looking really forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. Really good
Uh-huh.
times for us right now. A lot of excitement. The atmosphere was amazing on Saturday. The boys really produced. We had a couple of moments where we did concede them goals, but it was great to see the way we bounced back as well. Went
Hmm.
straight down the other end within a couple of minutes, got a goal, got back our two-goal lead both occasions. And attacking wise, we're looking so strong, really fluid. We were showing that during pre-season, but it's great we've continued that into the season now. And we've got to talk about the standout performer from the day, first of all, Gabriel Jesus, 2 goals, 2 assists. Could have had a couple more goals as well. Your thoughts on his performance?
Yeah, man, it was incredible. We saw the same kind of dynamic ability that he brings to this team, even in the Crystal Palace match. I mean, he wasn't able to get on the score sheet in any way. I don't think he got an assist on any one of those goals. Well, no, he didn't. But you could see the fluidity in which the way we moved on the attack and how he just opens up everybody to just have a much easier chance to score, right? And today, or no, this past game against Leicester, exactly as you said, standout performance. Both goals were just amazing. The first one, especially, like, oh my God, I watched the replay so many times and just to see the small amount of space that he had. I mean, you didn't he didn't have any space to get it anywhere, but he still was able to just kind of nick it over the goalie's head and right in the top corner, and it was just incredible. And one thing I kept saying to everybody at the bar and just anybody I could tell was just think about last year and who we had at our number 9. You know, Alex Lacazette, great professional, whatever, but if he's in that same position, he's probably going to try and knock the hell out of that ball and try to just laser that thing into the goal. And either he misses it or he like whiffs on it. So it's just good to have like somebody like who is, I guess, I don't know what it is. Like his confidence level is just there to where he's just gonna figure it out. I mean, and the way he just made the decision to do it like that was like split second. It was just such a amazing thing to behold. And then he was there for the Granit Xhaka goal. I mean, how awesome is it to see Granit Xhaka up there inside the box supporting everybody else? I think I like him in that role. I don't know if that's a different type of role. I mean, maybe not necessarily asking him to pull back and help defensively. I think that's going to be another thing we see now that we have someone like Zinchenko in there. Kieran Tierney back with from injury. Tomiyasu came back, and just having a much stronger defense. Like we don't necessarily need to ask somebody like Xhaka to come back and support. I think we could just rely on Thomas to kind of be that defensive midfielder and let Xhaka come up and help on that end. I mean, and then we see it. I mean, he was able to just score an easy goal, right? Anytime Jesus at that point, anytime he was close to the ball, defenders rushed to him, opened it. Same thing with the Martinelli goal. Like Jesus, man. I mean, we were on fire, and 4-2, we could have had 5 or 6, and we definitely should have had at least one, right? Like we would have been upset with giving up that first goal. The Saliba own goal, you can't be that mad at him. I mean, I'm glad he made a mistake this early in the season. I'm glad the way we all responded as a fan base. I don't know if you noticed, but everybody started cheering him on after his first couple touches, just kind of giving him like that support, saying, "Hey, man, you made a mistake. It is what it is. Let's keep going." And he responded well. Didn't really have any other mistakes that I could think of. Really solid player for us. You know, what happened exactly after we gave up the first goal? We scored a third one, and then they scored their second, which was a pretty nice between Iheanacho and Madison. Like that was some nice play right there. It was beautiful. Really hope that Ramsdale was able to save that. I think it was savable, but we responded well by immediately scoring right after that. Um, both and crazy, yeah. Both times when we gave up the goal, it was like, okay, here it is. Like this is not going to be easy. And both times we responded and made it easy. And it turned out to be a much easier fixture for our game for us. For 4-2 doesn't tell the story, man. It could have easily been 6-0. And yeah, we would have been up there with probably ahead on goal differential versus Manchester City. Obviously, it's only game two, so who really cares? But great start for us out the gate, first two games.
Yeah, for sure. You just see the confidence in the team. It's good to see, as you mentioned about Gabriel Jesus' first goal, the way like he made it out of nothing.
Mhm.
That is one big asset that we have now. That we have a striker that is able to get something out of nothing. And in the more difficult games, sometimes when you haven't got the ball as much, that's a great asset to have. You know,
Right.
we've seen with Lacazette, he could on the odd occasion get a goal out of nothing. Aubameyang too, but we've seen with Gabriel Jesus, he does it regularly. He's done it for Man City so many times. Seen him do it for us now, and that is going to be one great asset for us to have going forwards. And just the link up play, the way they're playing, Odegaard, Martinelli, Saka, the pace we have up top now, it's amazing. The point you're making about Xhaka as well, I feel that but in that CDM role, his lack of pace kind of gets exposed. So that's why he does sometimes struggle there. So it's maybe good and a good thing that Arteta's doing with him to have him a little bit higher up, so we don't have to worry about his lack of pace so much. He's not like the last line of defensive midfield anymore, you know. So
Mhm.
yeah, everything's just clicking together so nicely. Obviously, we've got to take it a game at a time, but yeah, we're really on fire now. And as you said, bring on the next one. You know, I was interviewing our fans after the game, and I was saying that the next three games on paper look easy. You've got to say the next four games at the moment, the way Man United are playing. It was funny. So as I was interviewing our fans after the game, their game was on, and people were coming by and shouting out the score and celebrating. And I'm hearing 3-0, and I was thinking this game's just kicked off. Sure, like, what's going on here? I mean,
Yeah.
the next thing is 4-0, and wow, it's just amazing to see them struggle so much. So yeah, let's get on to their game now. I was speaking to you before we recorded. You got to see the first half. You said so. Second half, you didn't miss much. It was just like I didn't see the first half. I saw
Yeah.
I was as I was filming, but I got to see like the last half an hour or so of the second half, and yeah, it was just by then the game was done, and it was just a case of Brentford were holding them at bay, keeping short 4-0 win. Man United didn't look threatening at all. So yeah, you saw the first half. What are your thoughts on that game?
Yeah. So that game happened basically immediately after ours. So where I live near downtown, we have our pub, the Tavern. So we watched our game at 9 o'clock. Game at 9 o'clock in the morning. Game finished 11:30 in the morning. A few blocks down is a pub called the Pub, um, and that's where the Manchester United fans watch their matches. So I have a real good friend. She's a Manchester United fan. She was watching the game with us, the Arsenal match with us in the morning when she kind of made her way over there. So I kind of returned the favor and went to go hang out, grab something to eat. So I was basically the only Arsenal. I was the only one in an Arsenal shirt, and like I was in the Lions Den basically. But it was funny to be there for it because obviously at the beginning of the game the excitement's there, right? We're like, come on, guys, we gotta bounce back from that first game loss, and then it's all right. So the sound is palpable, it's crazy in there, and I'm like, okay. So I order my food and I'm drinking my beer, just hanging out, and then that first goal goes in, and it was like everybody's upset, and I'm watching. I'm like, unlucky. De Gea just kind of, he had his hands on the ball, just kind of slipped through. Like I don't think that's a true indication of it. Like, whatever, like, keep playing, man. Like, I want to see a good game. You know, myself, I want to see. I never want to see like a boring match. I want to see something exciting. But there was something exciting about goal number two going in, and then three, and then by the time the fourth goal went in, uh, the third goal, people were pissed. You heard a lot of cuss words. You heard a lot of frustration in people. The fourth goal, it was just like whatever, like fuck this team. There was some anger, but it wasn't loud. And I don't know. I tried my best to not like celebrate, jump, but was in the Austin Gunner group chat, and of course we were going back and forth talking shit, already sharing memes. So I don't know if I was just giving off like I don't know if I was smiling ear to ear because I don't know if people just stopped talking to me and just stopped like looking at me. So I tried my best to not celebrate or go, "Oh, holy shit, like that sucks." But I think looking into my phone, I was smiling and smirking, so I might have given it away that I was certainly having a good time. Um, it was enjoyable to a degree. Obviously, those are like one of our main rivals. As I said in the past couple shows, it's going to be maybe a 4 or 5 team battle for third and fourth place, I think, and I really think that we're one of those teams that is going to fight for like the top three even. Um, so it's kind of good to see Manchester United take a couple of blows to the chin, man, and yeah, I don't know where they're going to go with that team. There's a lot of um, a lot of individualism on that team. It doesn't look like anybody there enjoys playing with each other. So a lot of people are trying to draw comparisons with like us and them, like us last year versus them. And first of all, like we lost to the champions of Europe and then the champions of the Premier League back to back. The Brentford loss, granted, was a bad loss. That's a team that plays really well at home, so you got to give it to them, right? Still, and of course, the 4-0, like that's incredible. But I will say that at least with our team last year, you started seeing some of the current team kind of taking shape, right? We started bringing in a lot of signings. We spent a lot of money, but we brought a lot of quality and quantity. Um, we were you could see the makings of what we were becoming and what we've become. And with United, it's not that way, man. Like, I mean, if they've lost to Brentford and Brighton back to back, two teams that are solid, right, strong, that they're going to play hard, right? No, there's no easy game, but you would think a team with all that talent is not going to have, lose 2-0 and 4-0. So I don't know what's going to go on with them. I'm enjoying the ride with them, just kind of seeing what's going on. But it's good as an Arsenal supporter to see that happening to somebody else, and we're not the butt of the jokes. A little bit of relief as well, right? Like we're not the butt of the jokes. We can laugh at somebody else while we are kind of chugging along and making strides as a team, man. And you can, again, I think I can really start appreciating what we have going on from top to bottom when you see a team like Manchester United like really going through it. I mean, and they've got probably way more money to spend than we do, um, but it's just not working out for them. So I don't know. Best of luck to my friend. I tell him like, hey, if you need some support, don't come to me because I'm gonna make jokes. So we'll see, man. You know?
Yeah, they're going through a big crisis there.
Yeah,
Seems a right mess, and it's not going to get any easier for them. Their next game is Liverpool at home. We'll get into
yeah,
that when we're previewing this weekend's games. But yeah, on to another game then from a weekend. It was an intense encounter, London derby between Chelsea and Tottenham, two of our big rivals. We wanted it to be a draw ideally, so they both dropped points, and that's how it turned out. But you got to say Chelsea were a bit unlucky in that one. They did play well, they were a better team. The two goals that Tottenham scored, very contentious refereeing decisions, you got to say. And in the end, it caused a massive touchline issue between the two managers. Both ended up
yeah.
getting red cards as well. But yeah, watching the game, it was really intense and what you'd expect of a derby match. Your thoughts on that
Yeah,
one?
yeah, man. I mean, I kind of liked that the referee. sort of let some things slide and like let them play the game and let them, do their thing. But at the same time, yeah, some of those goals, I think the second goal that Tottenham scored to equalize and kind of save the point. Um, there was that incident with inside the box. I don't know who pulled the hair of Cucurella, but that's that looks like a penalty to me. I mean, I know maybe it's not necessarily like illegal to pull someone's hair, but you are kind of that is somewhat violent conduct, right? Like, so you would think something's going to get turned over or somebody's going to get a card or I don't know, man. Yeah, it was really contentious. But I kind of got everything I wanted out of that match. Like I wanted to see back and forth. I wanted to see some intensity. But again, here we are talking about the referees, like really kind of ruining the moment a little bit. You're kind of like, like maybe Chelsea deserved to win that match, but also, we're gonna laugh at Chelsea because they dropped the points, and so 2-2 draw, kind of what I was hoping. I think I even predicted 2-2, so I'll take that. Um, they share the points, we stay ahead of them, and anytime our rivals drop points, it's good for us. So I'll take any drop point when it happens, especially when we get the full 3 points. So these points are going to be, I mean, as you see at the end of the year, how we're just missing out on these windows by like 1, 2, 3 points. Like I'll take it. I'll take it anytime we get any kind of advantage. Uh, but it was funny to see that between Conti and Thomas Tuchel, excuse me, um, just just getting that mad at each other for not looking each other in the eyes when they handshake each other. It's whatever, man. Emotions, heat of the moment stuff. I'll take the 2-2 draw. It's everything I wanted, man.
Yeah, perfect result for us. And let's now talk a little bit about the transfer window in. So it's gone quiet in terms of the links, the players coming in. The one news that there was before our game against Leicester, reports were saying that it's likely we're considering now that we should maybe wait for Tielemans' contract to expire and then bring him in on a free at the end of the season. What's your thoughts on that
Hmm.
one? Would you want to wait until the contract expires or bring him in now?
Um, I think given the first two games and seeing how we're looking and the fact that, Emil Smith Rowe is starting to is healthy now. In fact, I think he was able to get some game minutes along with Fabio Vieira. Him and Fabio got some game minutes. We are under 21s, and this is the only reason I know that our under 21s played today was because the team announced that those two guys were going to get minutes along with I think Cedric. But I mean, who cares about Cedric? Good for him, right? I mean, fine, good for Cedric. Let's get him some work. But it's big that Fabio Vieira and Emil Smith Rowe got work with them because just last week we saw Marquinhos and Tomiyasu get a good amount of time. Then we saw Tomiyasu come in this game, so we're starting to integrate them with the team. So I'm looking forward to within the next week or so, we'll get Vieira in, we'll get Emil Smith Rowe back. We're starting to look pretty solid depth wise. Um, I'm not against waiting and being a little bit shrewd in that sense and saving some money on transfers and just waiting until we can get him for free. I think that's fine. Um, I'm kind of hoping maybe see about maybe uh, getting a winger. I know Jeremy Pino from I think it's Valencia or something has also been linked with us. I don't think there's really been anything happening. So it kind of looks like maybe we're shutting the door in terms of bringing somebody in, or if we are going to bring somebody in, it's going to be like last day kind of stuff. But because what we are doing is we're doing a lot of moving out. Like so, I'm hearing Pepe has been linked with that in France with the team Nice. I think it's how you say it, right? Nice or whatever. However, he's being linked with them either with a loan move or a loan with an obligation to buy. So it'd be really cool to kind of see us continue to just get some of these guys out of here. Um, and if I think if we can get Pepe out, if we can get him to go, then that might open it up to maybe pull in a player like last minute. So I think it's going to be depending on that. If we can't, though, I'm not really upset about it. I think we're good to go. I think even someone like Marquinhos has shown that he can play at this level. So maybe we can start seeing Bukayo Saka get some rest. Emil Smith Rowe might be able to step in. He did step in for Martinelli, I think it was. And yeah, I think we're pretty set. I I wouldn't be upset if we didn't get a player. It was different outlook maybe 2 weeks ago before the season started, but I think we've made some pretty good, solid progress with the guys we do have, and maybe let's wait until January to see what we need moving forward. You know?
Yeah, we've done some good business, but ideally, just to give us a little bit more squad depth, if we get
Hmm.
one or two more in before the end of the transfer window, that would be great. As you said, it might be a case we're going to leave it right until towards the end. Seems like Leicester are playing hardball with the Tottenham situation. Don't know what's going to happen with that, but they might be in a situation where last day of a transfer window, the last few days maybe, because they might be looking to bring in a replacement for him. They're like, okay, we're not going to get more money. Let's sell him now rather than losing him for free. So that could still happen in that way. And then, yeah, other negotiations, as you said, maybe it's down to who we can get out still based on that when we can decide if we can get anyone in. So, yeah, let's see how it goes. Still some time left for the transfer window. Now let's talk about the Amazon Prime documentary. So episode 4, 5, and 6 came out last week.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
Oh man, I think what was it, episode 4? Like right off the bat, I think it was that game where we lost to Nottingham Forest. Um, and he was just super pissed, and he's like, "Hey, how are we supposed to beat them?" And he's like, "Laka, how do we beat him?" And Laka says something like rhythm, and then he just looks at the whole squad and just like rhythm my ass, soft as fuck. Like he was going off. I was just like, I laughed like so hard. That's incredible, man. Like I love our manager, man. I love Arteta because I mean, before this came out, you get a lot of word from around the squad saying like, oh, like this guy's a genius, this guy is straightforward, he tells it like it is, and you can only believe it so much. But I think this has really shed a light at how truly blunt and how truly honest and how truly passionate this guy is, and I think it's perfect for what we want to do. It was incredible. Yeah, I love it. How pissed he is when we lose, and he was talking about like, hey, this is happening because hey, at training I see it like we lose a ball, this and this, like, oh, it's no big deal, like, and then he started like slamming the laundry bin or whatever, and he was just like, when I lose, I'm pissed, I'm upset. Like he was taking it to him, and like that's what you need. And I think if there's one critique I have, it would be on the players. Like, and I don't, everybody reacts to games different, and maybe they're just emotionally spent, but you saw a lot of them just kind of sulking or just real quiet after losses. And then you saw Arteta being like the intense guy. And like that was great. I love that shit. That's what I want to see from our manager. Another one I liked was, I like the different types of things he tries to do to get players to think outside the box, to challenge them, with the meetings and stuff like that. Um, that just lets me know he's really in tune with or tries to be really in tune with what the players are looking or how they're feeling or what they're going through. Like he wants to connect with them on a personal level to really get the most out of them and to really motivate them, right? If something doesn't work, maybe they never do it again. And if something does work, then they continue it. Like the one thing I like is, when he gets them in a big circle and does whatever he's going to do, gives whatever speech he wants, does the visualization thing. Like that's big, man, for me. Like I like that kind of stuff. And the conversation I was having with something at the pub was like, just kind of think about it when you were a kid and you were in sports. Like for us watching, like you're thinking, oh, like this can be weird, that can be weird. But I do recall being in sports and coaches trying different things and getting us to think about something a little bit different. And then visualization. I'm big about visualization. So whenever he does that, my ears are perking up, and I'm just like, wow, this is so incredible to see. Um, Another instance I remember is him like announcing to the team like, oh, when he was out with COVID with the Manchester City match and he had to miss a few practices. And it was almost like you could think about like a teacher coming back after being out and you were with the substitute, and then he kind of just goes, "Hey, I was watching video practice," and then he didn't name anybody, but he gave numbers. He's like, out of 25 players, I saw 18 that went all out. Maybe it was a smaller number, but it was like 14, 15 that put everything they had. 5 or 6 that did okay, and then he was like 3 or 4 that if I were there, 15 minutes in, I would have sent you home. And like, oh man, like that was amazing. And I'm wondering if he ever like actually told one on one the players like, hey, you were one of those players that didn't put in the right effort. I would have sent you home. Or if he just kind of let them like let their mind wander and like, holy shit, was that me? Was I the one doing that? Um, and then hopefully that forces them to kind of put all their effort into training. So, yeah, man, as I've already said like different times right now in this ramble, that's my coach, man, and I want to see him. I'm looking forward tonight. Looks like the way the cadence is Wednesday nights, 1 a.m. over there in Europe or in England, but around 7 o'clock our time we get the episode. So we got 2 more. I'm looking forward to it. How about you? Like, what do you think about these?
Seen Arteta, the way he handles situations, his techniques that he's using, the way he's at the players, the passion. You can see his standards are very high, and he's very disappointed when we're not meeting them standards. And like for example, against Nottingham Forest, we know watching that game it was a pathetic performance, and he told them it's just not good enough. And another thing that was that he really wants the players to train hard. He doesn't want them to lack any sort of intensity in training. The bit you're talking about, where he talked about players that were training hard, not so hard, and very hard, and he was sent someone home. That was great. But there's something else he mentioned that they translated it from Spanish to English, where he said that the players have got too used to doing what they want. They think they can do what they want. Did you remember that scene where he said that?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I think
and
so.
that,
When
that
he's
that's that was a big thing. Not putting that effort and intensity in, he's not going to keep you. I mean, we look at the situation with Aubameyang. I love Aubameyang. You know that we spoke a lot last year about Aubameyang, and it was hard. So many great memories of him. He was my favorite player. So to see him leave was very difficult. But then now, when you see the background to it, and they didn't go into too much detail about what exactly the different issues were, but he said he's got a long list of issues he's had with him. So it's not one or two things. It's been happening for a period of time, and we've given him chances, and yet he's still making these mistakes. So how way that all played out shows you that he is really serious, adamant that it has to be. What's the word he uses for it? He uses this word uh non-negotiables.
non-negotiable, yeah.
Yeah, so he's very strict on this, and he wants all the players to buy into it. And Eddie mentioned it as well recently in his interview that when looking at the squad, they saw some players that aren't the right characters for what they want, and then they're looking at it and saying that even if we've got to pay them to leave, it's better off for us because it's an investment to make our team get better.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on about how the whole Aubameyang thing played out?
Yeah, so Pierre Emerick Aubameyang, man, what an enigma, huh? Just like you said, and just like you, like, yeah, he was one of my favorite players, probably still is, even after watching that. I really love the way he plays, and I still follow, I well not still follow, but I started following Barcelona because he's on that squad now, and I'll probably still try and find time to watch games, and if he plays, I'll keep my eye on him and rooting for him. Uh, but yeah, watching that documentary really lets everybody know. I think it gives everybody an idea of how Arteta wants to run things, and It's quite the opposite of like what certain coaches might do, and I don't know how it is in football in this world, but one thing I thought about was in American football, there's this coach, really successful, won a lot of Super Bowls, a lot of championships. His name's Jimmy Johnson. He coached the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL for in the early '90s, and was had a really successful stint. And one of his things was he was very upfront about he would treat star players differently than everybody else, in a sense that he would give them a little bit more leeway to do their thing. But at the same time, with that extra long leash, he expected more of them, uh, more from them, excuse me. So that's how it worked for him. And with Arteta, it seems maybe a little bit, maybe not necessarily the reverse or inverse or whatever, but he expects these non-negotiables from everybody, regardless of whether you're the star or not. But I think even more so if you're the star and the captain, right? So in this case, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was the freaking captain. Probably got the probably has the biggest weekly wage for anybody in the team. And if you get to the point where you're keeping a docket and a list of every single infraction that went in your time, um, like that's serious stuff, man. And I mean, if you think about it, the day that he got signed on to coach us, to coach our boys, like I think one of the things I remember the most was him saying like everybody has a clean slate. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to go into because I think they asked him about Mesut Ozil, and they were like, what do you think about Mesut Ozil and how it was with Unai Emery? And he goes, you know what? Like he goes, I'm not gonna hold that against him. Everything that happened in the past is in the past, and now that I'm here, starting on day one, everybody gets a clean slate, and we go from there. And then I'm pretty sure he probably let everybody know about their non-negotiables, and then at some point, your accountability starts at zero right there, and then you got to build up. And so that's probably what happened with anybody that he's banished, Aubameyang included. And what we saw, um, I mean, we didn't see like the actual like incidents or anything like that, but what he was saying, yeah, man, at some point it just doesn't work out, and you have to make an example of somebody. And I think we've even said like, or I've heard people saying in different podcasts, like eventually we're probably going to see the club sell somebody that's going to break our hearts, and it's not necessarily because they're not a good player, but it might be if, in the reverse, like they're a great player. There's a great offer on the table. We want to make money off of them when we can. Might as well sell them. So obviously a different situation or whatever. But what I'm trying to say is like ultimately at some point, like no matter how good the player is and how much people like him, like he was still, I think, even maybe with all the incidents he was doing, like he was probably still well liked in the dressing room. In fact, I think there's a small clip where Ramsdale even says like, I wonder when Alba's coming back. Like I miss him, right? Like he's a likable guy, but you have to ultimately had to make an example out of him because you are trying to get this message across that these are non-negotiables, and if you just let him stick around, well then you're contradicting yourself and you're saying, well, these are negotiable. So I think that was a really big moment for our club and for the transition of or the progression of this club, because if you look at it this way, if you look at it from on the pitch performance, like we looked really good almost immediately after banishing him um, the first time, and then once we sold him and once we got him off our books, like yeah, we had a struggle, but we also just had a nice little bump right after that, and like ultimately, I think the message got across to the players. And moving forward, I think it was probably one of the best things we had to do as a club. Now, like fast forward to like today, and recently there's been like some rumblings of Albach going to Chelsea maybe. I don't think it's going to happen, but there was some rumors, and they actually even asked Arteta about it, They asked him like, you know, did Thomas Tuchel ask for your docket of incidents, and did you share it to him? And like all Arteta said was, "Hey, Alba is great for the club, um, and that's all I'm going to say." And then they asked him like, if he goes to Chelsea, like, what do you think the reception will be? And he was just like, Alba did great for the club. He, he deserves to be welcomed with open arms and like, positive a positive welcome is basically what he said. So he refused to speak bad on him. So that kind of reinforced everything I've just been saying. Like, hey, great player, probably a great person, but at some point between the player and the club, it just doesn't work out for whatever reason. Like when you get let go from a job, like, hey, it's maybe it's just because you're not meeting certain metrics. You're a great person, you're a great teammate, yada yada yada, but hey, it's just not working out based on the key performance indicators that we set. So that's probably how that conversation went. And you can even see with, like Edu and these other guys where you could tell like they didn't want to let him go, but they had to put trust in their manager ultimately, and they had to rally around and have one common message and had to send that message. And they trusted in Arteta, and I think it's a big gamble, but I think it's paid off because now we got our striker. Now we have a feel like the feeling around the team is really good. So seeing that, I think in my head kind of reinforced everything I was hoping. Uh, in terms of like, I hope like, yeah, he's a good player, but I hope it was just because he was just being a dickhead and just bucking up. And sometimes you just gotta let somebody move on, and that's what we did. So it is what it is. I still have his jersey, to root for him, but it just didn't work out with him, man. And part of it, or most of it, was probably his fault.
Yeah, as you said, these things do happen, and I wish him the best of luck at Barcelona. And forever will remember the memories, him winning that semi-final against Manchester City in the FA Cup, the final.
Oh yeah.
These are memories that just were so amazing, and you will not forget them. So, really thank him for that, and good luck to him in his future. Okay, so let's look now to the games coming up this weekend. Starting with our game, we've got Bournemouth away, promoted team. Should be a comfortable win, but we know in the Premier League, no games are easy. We've had some tough games away to Bournemouth before when they used to be in the Premier League as well. So we're going to have to be on our game. We've got a match for intensity, and our quality should take over. And hopefully, it's going to be a comfortable win. So, the first thing I wanted to ask you is in regards to our lineup now. So, we've seen that Tomiyasu is getting fitter now. He's given like 15 minutes in our last game against Leicester. We had another week of training now as well. Same with Teeny as well, working on their way up to full fitness. Would you look to make any changes?
I think if there's a game to make changes and to try and integrate some of these guys who have been hurt for a while, I think Bournemouth is the perfect opportunity to do it. Um, Again, yeah, newly promoted. They've kind of had a weird bounce between the two games. I mean, they won 2-0 against Villa to open the season. I don't know if that just says how much maybe Villa is not that good this year. We'll see. Then they also turned around and lost 4-0 to Man City. So, but then again, does that say more about Man City? So yeah, can't really tell anything about this Bournemouth team. Really, it's too early. And then yeah, as you said, like some of our matchups against them, I'm looking at like our heads, like our head to heads, and we've won out of the last 10, we've won 8 of them. We've lost, or wait, let me see. Yeah, we've won 8 and drawn 2, but all the games are just like really close, like 2-1, 1-1, 1-0. We had a 5-1 in there sprinkled in, but very close games, right? Going back to like 2018. Obviously, a very different team this time around. Um, I think, as you said, the quality will take over. I think if we were to start, I don't know if maybe both. I think maybe if anyone's ready to start, I would probably want to see someone like Tomiyasu go in. Part of that is just me really excited about the prospect of him coming back and just loving the way he plays. right back, it's almost like you can just forget about whoever, is playing against him in that side and just kind of just say, all right, Tomiyasu's got it. Um, but if that's the case, I think maybe Ben White gets to start, but we might see substitutions happen a little bit earlier. I think for the past couple games, the substitutions have been a little late. And I don't know if maybe Arteta wants to first and foremost secure some kind of victory early on, or at least make the game comfortable enough to bring in a good subs. Um, so yeah, I think we might. I think honestly, we'll go with the same lineup that we've been seeing the first 2 weeks, but potentially seeing Tomiyasu come in like maybe in the 65th or 70th minute. I think this time around he came in minute 75, so I think we see him a little bit earlier than that potentially. Um, and then maybe see Tierney come in as well. I don't think we saw Tierney come in the last one. I could be wrong. But it'd be nice to see him come in. This also may be a good time to maybe rest Jesus and put him in and put Nketiah in. Again, I think ultimately we'll go with the same lineup because we do have. Looks like we have a Wednesday fixture coming up after Fulham. We play Wednesday. So we play at home on the 27th and on the 31st, back to back, or not back to back, but Fulham and Villa at home. So I think that's when we may see like some big changes in the lineup, but we'll see maybe more subs this time around. So I will say if there's any changes, it'll be Ben White out, Tomiyasu in. But I'm not very confident in that.
Okay.
What do you think?
What's your quick score prediction?
Uh, I think it'll be 3-0. I think we get our first clean sheet. I don't think it's as emphatic as a 4 or 5-0 win. But 3-0, I think, is emphatic enough. And I think it happens pretty comfortably. I think we score our first goal again early on, and second goal, I think we go into halftime 2-0, and then get one in the second half just to sweeten the pot and icing on the cake, whatever you want to say. But I think it's easy 3-0 win.
Okay, let's hope so. Way we're playing and scoring goals, I'm very confident we can get a lot of goals there. So let's hope we can keep tight at the back and yeah, clean sheet, comfortable win would be great. Next, let's talk about some of the other big games this weekend. So let's start with the Man United versus Liverpool match. So we were talking about Man United earlier. They've had a really bad start to the season. They seem like they're in a crisis situation. Liverpool haven't had the best of starts for themselves. They've drawn their first 2 games, dropped 4 points against teams you would have expected them to win as well. Fulham away is a promoted team. I know Fulham played well, but you would have expected them to win that one. And Crystal Palace at home, a game you would have expected them to win. We know Crystal Palace are a good team, but Liverpool at Anfield, you would have thought they had won that one. So they've not had the best of starts. Is that situation with Mane even left? Has it affected the balance of their team? I don't know what their striker was doing. Their new striker Nunes against Crystal Palace got a red card for a headbutt, so he's going to be missing in this game as well. And it's going to be interesting because Man United we know are a poor team, but it is a derby. They're at home. They're going to want to come out and show a response. It's so embarrassing, obviously losing a game 4-0 like that. So you expect a response from them. And you expect a response from Liverpool as well, because they've had a poor start, but they're not in the best of form. Man United are in really poor form. So, it could be one of them tight derbies where it could be a draw, but you would say Liverpool should win that one quite comfortably, especially if they start finding their form and their rhythm. So, what's your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, man. The past 2 times they've played each other, it's been 5-0 Liverpool, 4-0 Liverpool. So I'm not very confident in like Manchester United stepping up to the plate and like performing under the lights, right? We'll see. As you said, the desperation is getting serious over there at Old Trafford, and it's at home. It's on Monday night, so they'll have a chance to kind of see all the results come in and know what they're facing. And then the same thing, yeah, with Liverpool. I mean, their big signing, Darwin Nunez, is out for I guess, a game, 2 games. I don't know how long he's out.
I think
And then
it's
three
three.
games because of violent conduct, right? Just
Yeah,
red, red.
yeah.
Um, and then they're also dealing with a lot of injuries. I mean, I'm looking at their roster right now. I mean, they have Diogo Jota's out. I know who was the defender that got knocked out early, and he's going to be out for weeks. I don't even see his name. But yeah, but they're just not off to like the hottest start. Oh yeah, Oxlade Chamberlain's out, Curtis Jones. Yeah, they got a long list of injuries going on right now. So, but they also have my guy Luis Diaz, who's that guy. I mean, immediately after the red card, he just came in and took the ball and scored by himself. You know, took the game into his own hands. So he is something special, man. I like that guy. Oh, Thiago's the guy who I was thinking about. Thiago, the midfielder, who's been out. He's going to be out for like 6 weeks. So Liverpool is, they got guys out on red cards, injuries, but they have my dude Luis Diaz. So I think they end up winning. I think it's close, just like you say, but it's probably something like 2-0. I think it's going to be again. I think United will probably see the best United team so far. Because again, I feel like there has to be some kind of response. You would think, right? Um, and against Liverpool, like you don't want to go out there and embarrass yourself. There's a lot of turmoil going on with that fan base as well, so the pressure is going to be on. I do know there's some kind of talk of a protest and a walkout, so it's going to be a circus on Monday. I'll say that much. But I think ultimately Liverpool is still not going to look strong, but they're going to be strong enough to pull away and win comfortably too.
Okay. Tottenham, I played against Wolverhampton.
Mhm.
So that one?
Yeah, that's going to be a 6:30 in the morning game, which I will no doubt be waking up for, as I've been doing already. But yeah, I mean, like I love getting up early and drinking some coffee, eating a light breakfast, and just watching and enjoying the games. Wolverhampton's not off to a hot start, 0-0 draw the past game. They lost to Leeds 2-1 with like a late goal to lose the game. Tottenham looks strong. I think Tottenham is going to come out and look strong again. I haven't seen any reason to believe that they're not, still one of the top teams. As much as I hate to say it, but like, I hate to say it the whole season, but they're a strong team and they're going to look strong. And I don't think Wolves will really compete. So that might be a 2-0 game. That's probably not going to be as close as like United and Liverpool. But 2-0, I think as well.
Okay. And Chelsea are playing Leeds away.
Oh, that's gonna be fun, man. They call them the we're calling them over here the Leeds United States, man. We got the American coach, like two midfielders who are Americans. So I think if there's a team that's might steal some fans over here in the US, it's Leeds. I've always liked watching them play. I think they will. It's at home, Sunday, right? 8 o'clock in the morning at our time. I'll be getting up to watch that one. I think, you know what? I think of all the top teams, I think Chelsea is the team that doesn't really necessarily excite me all that much. Although Raheem Sterling is looking good, but I think you like Leeds United steals one, man, and I'm gonna say 2-1 with the late goal. I think Leeds United is one of those teams like they're gonna keep it close. They're gonna lose some games, obviously, but they're gonna steal some games as well. And I think this is gonna be one of them. 2-1 Leeds United.
Okay. Yeah, so looking forward to another weekend of great action. Looking forward to seeing the last two episodes of Amazon documentary.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, bro, I look forward to speaking to you, mate, all next week. Thanks so much for your time.
absolutely, man. Looking forward to it as well. It's gonna be another big week in action. Yeah, man, I cannot wait. I think I'm a little bit worried about trap games, but I don't think this is going to be it. I think it'll be later on in the season. We'll talk about that. But yeah, I'm looking. I'll talk to you about All or Nothing. Last couple episodes, I'm certainly going to watch tonight as soon as they drop, or maybe a little later. We'll see. But I'll be tuning in, and Yeah, man. Looking forward to Saturday. So we'll talk to you then.
For sure. But this weekend's huge as well because there's a really big boxing fight on Saturday night.
Oh yeah.
It's a heavyweight boxing fight. It's a rematch between a guy from here, Anthony Joshua,
Mm,
and a guy from Ukraine called Alexander Usyk. So they fought each other last year, and Joshua was the champion, but Usyk beat him. So he's got like three heavyweight titles now. So it's a rematch now. All the titles on the line. It's in Saudi Arabia. It's going to be on, we're saying, around 10, 11 p.m. UK time. So
nice.
after our game, yeah, we've got that to look forward to. Big fight. Exciting times. Let's hope we do make it that easy 6 wins in a row.
Be great, bro.
Yeah, man.
Amazing.
Yeah, Man United to finish off that run of 6 games. We got if we get 18 points out of 18, that what a start that would be.
Incredible, dude. It'll be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I'm confident we can do it. Come on, boys.
Let's
We can do
go.
this. Let's go. So that's all from us. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share.